ever heard that phrase, get the mud out of the water? Welcome back to Get Connected. I'm your host, Conn Jackson. Well, that's the title of our next guest's best-selling book. He has been recently diagnosed with MS, and he's kept a positive attitude through the entire diagnosis and prognosis. But he also is helping millions of people live out their dreams. And today he joins us now. Dr. Jack, welcome to Get Connected.
Hey, it's great to be with you, Conn.
Doctor, I'm just curious, what led you to go to the doctor that led to your diagnosis?
Well, it was, I'd had an automobile accident a couple months before I was diagnosed, and the good thing about working with athletes, you have great doctors. And one of the brave physicians sent me to a neurologist. He saw some things that didn't seem to be orthopedically related, and they diagnosed me with MS very, very quickly, as a matter of fact. Did an MRI and did some other tests, and so it was a pretty quick diagnosis.
Well, doctor, I'm certainly glad that you had access to such great doctors when you were working with the Braves. But let's turn our attention to your first thoughts you had when you were first diagnosed.
Well, it was, I tell you what, Conn, I'd had the world by the tail for 35 years working with great athletes, and then to get that diagnosis, man, I was devastated. I thought my life was over. I thought I was going to die, and I thought I might even choose to die. I mean, it was just absolutely devastating until my doctor, who happened to be a big Atlanta Braves fan, told me, he said, man, your attitude is going to be your best friend or your worst enemy, and you just need to practice what you've been preaching for 40 years to athletes. And so I started doing that, and I put that in place and began to move ahead.
Well, Jack, you've mentioned you've had to keep a positive attitude, but I can only assume that with this condition, there were times that you felt alone or abandoned because people didn't understand.
Yeah, I really felt that way. I felt that. See, I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what MS was, and he explained to me and talked about medication and all this stuff. And I was absolutely, the first thought in my mind was, what about my kids? You know, they're going to be devastated. And because I didn't know what it was. I knew there was no cure. I knew it was devastating. I knew it was frustrating. I knew I was going to have times when I couldn't do certain things. And I just didn't know how my life was going to be built around that. And fortunately for me, I'd always been a part of doing things to, you know, build teams and have good chemistry and organizations, and golly, it really helped me, because I just put my, I put my team together. The Braves were incredibly supportive, and you're right, I felt absolutely alone. I felt nobody in the world understood my problem but me, and I guess we all go through that. But I put together that team, boy, the Braves, and my doctor, and started taking the daily injection of Copaxone, which I've done for 8 years now, which really has been good to me. Things just began to come together, and through all this frustration, I was able to develop a partnership with Teva Neuroscience, which enabled me to expand that program that I've been doing for athletes for 35, 40 years. Now I can do it for MS patients, and never, ever in my whole life have I ever done anything that's been as rewarding to me emotionally.
You know, doctor, you mentioned the love and the support you got not only from the Braves organization, but your family. How important did that prove to be to you during this period of time?
No, I was just going to say it really does. What we need to understand, Conn, is that we're never, and it's not just a cliche, we never accomplish anything by ourselves. We need a team. We need somebody around us to challenge us and help us move ahead and keep the wheels turning. And you know, like for MS as an example, they have what they call a team. It's sharedsolutions.com, and heck, patients can call them 24 hours a day if they want. Even if I have a problem with my MS, I can call 24 hours a day. My athletes, and they did it last night, as a matter of fact. My athletes call me 12, 1, 2 in the morning, because I'm available to them 24 hours a day. And it's just it's a good feeling to not only feel like you can help somebody, to feel like you're part of something.
Doctor, I know you were very open to share it with the Braves players when you were going through the diagnosis and the treatment for your MS. I'm just curious, how is the best way to respond to an adversity?
I think to recover, if you have your mind, your mind relatively clear and you can focus on things, that if you need to recover the first thing you got to do is recall something that went well in the past few days, okay, or the past days, something that went well, like for you, like an interview that you were especially happy with, and mentally replay that in your mind, because you store everything you do, the good and the bad. And so it's stored up there waiting to be used in a positive way. And then when it comes time to move ahead with a task, then pull it up, review it, and then let yourself go. There are no guarantees, Conn, but at least the probability of succeeding, again, is on your side. That's what you're looking for, is just to increase the probability. And you pull up past experiences that were good. And anytime you think about something negative that you think is going to go on, then let it run its course and replace it with something positive. Always leave a situation thinking about what you're going to do to move ahead.
Well, certainly excellent advice, and I know how you say we need to replay positive experiences through our mind. So let's turn our attention to your best-selling book, Get the Mud Out of the Water. What are 3 practical steps that we can apply to our lives today?
Number 1, recognize that everybody has adversity, that you're not the only one. That being said, recognize your assets and your liabilities, the things that make you good, things drive you nuts. And number 2, put a team together of go-to people, team that are going to support you and lick your wounds, and team members that are going to challenge you and say things you don't want to hear. And then number 3 would be to, number 3 would be to put yourself in a positive environment, because no matter how hard you try and how hard you work, if you're in a negative environment, you're not going to be successful.
You know, Jack, I want to follow up that. You mentioned being positive, being in a positive environment. What would you say to your distractors out there that say being positive sometimes you're not being genuine?
Well, there's a terrible misconception floating around now that if you can see it, you can do it. Okay, that's absolutely not true. There's a terrible misconception that you can do anything you want, anything in the world's possible. That's also a misconception. Different people are built to do different things and have a different knowledge level to do different things. Understand what you're capable of doing, visualize that, and then you can move ahead and accomplish that. If you don't expect something good to happen every day, then it's not. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you expect something good to happen, it doesn't mean it's going to, but again, the probability is on your side it's going to, and that's all you're looking for. I'm not a rah-rah run around, got life's great, life's wonderful, and everything's rosy, because everybody has adversity. But at least if you look forward to good things, you have a chance to get over it quicker.
Well, Jack, I'm right there with you, particularly when you talk about expecting good things to happen. Gives you a higher percentage chance that it will. Let's turn our attention to your success. Given the tremendous success that you've had, what advice would you give to others living out their dreams?
Well, I think everybody needs to, obviously everybody needs to have dreams of things. I just think that, sometimes we're unfair to people when we promote unrealistic dreams. I think you need to be realistic about your capabilities. Again, as I said before, about your assets, what you're capable of doing, and your liabilities, things you can't do. I'd like to throw 95 miles an hour, but when I throw batting practice, it's 40. So I don't visualize 95. So you need to understand what your capabilities are, and more than anything else, be realistic. Be realistic. You can always achieve goals and move up, but it's devastating to set goals here and in the middle of things have to move them back. That's psychologically devastating. Set goals that you can accomplish and you can taste them and you can see them and feel them, and then move up from there.
Well, Jack, I relate to you saying that as it relates to our dreams, we need to keep them realistic. But how do we know when they're realistic and then when we're just dreaming too high?
Well, I think if people just sit around at night and think about what they've done and think about even what they've done today, and then try to figure out how they can do it better tomorrow, or how they can add to it tomorrow. Because we can all do more than we're doing. There's no question about that. We can't do anything we want to do, but we can do more than we're doing today. That's what I tell MS patients. You can do more than you're doing today. And figure that out. Make it very specific. Put a timeline on it. Reward yourself when you do it well, and it pushes you through to the next day. You do that every day, and you'll be amazed what you accomplish.
Well, Jack, first and foremost, thank you for your advice today, and more importantly, your inspiration. Again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Conn.
Certainly great having the doctor with us, not only telling us to keep a positive attitude, but a positive environment. He truly is an example of that. When we come back to Times Square, we're going to try to find the man or woman of your dreams. Dr. Helen Fisher joins us live next.
Match.com and I have just done the most comprehensive study of singles in America.
Thank you so much for watching. Are you tired of negative news? We are.
And that's why we're creating a movement.
By keeping it real.
With what you need to know. It's more than what's happening.
It's bringing hope back to our lives.
So go to conntv.com and join our movement.